The Tubataha Reefs National Marine Park, the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, the historic town of Vigan, and the 4 Baroque churches, they are truly worthy to be called World Heritage Sites. But having traveled to these places, I couldn't help but remember that feeling of sadness which crept over me when I left Tubataha. It's a feeling which helped me realize even more that our World Heritage Sites, while beautiful and majestic, also share something inherently tragic: their fragility.
To counteract this,
Ambassador Preciosa Soliven of the UNESCO National Commission of the Philippines couldn't have put it more clearly.
Sites. But we are losing it because time ravages things, weather.
So, what needs to be done in order to safeguard our World Heritage Sites from the ravages of time, both natural and man-made?
We had to bring back the sense of pride of the people.
When we attack the problem,
we rely on foreign donors at present.
I posed this question to several key people in the course of my journey. But before I share some of their answers with you, I'd first like to show you how certain basic problems have affected our World Heritage properties. The first is maintenance, a problem easily noticeable in 2 of the Baroque churches. And beyond physical appearances, there remains the ever-present threat of earthquakes. In Vigan, some houses are also in dire need of repairs, if not outright conservation. I was particularly dismayed upon entering what was clearly once a magnificent ancestral dwelling. But the problem of maintenance acquires even greater significance when it affects a site like the rice terraces. Already, UNESCO has estimated that 30% of the terraces is in disrepair, prompting its inclusion on the World Heritage in Danger list. At present, the rice terraces is the only Philippine World Heritage Site on this list. Then, there is the matter of security. Tubataha Reefs, for example, is still quite vulnerable in this regard. While the authorities in charge of its protection have greatly reduced the incidence of blast and cyanide fishing, poaching in Tubataha by foreign intruders has remained a highly controversial issue. I was glad to learn, however, that local officials have remained conscious about these problems and are taking appropriate steps to maintain the integrity of these sites. But above all, it was heartening to note that these measures have taken into account the needs and cooperation of the people living in and around these sites.
We had to bring back the sense of pride of the people. So we had to find some common ground for them to feel good about their place. So it's easier to make them cooperate with you. What we did was, of course, first to put things right by coming up with legislations on conservation. Of course, we had to bring in some economic activity so that if they do fix up their houses, they would have some money also to maintain it.
when we attack the problem, we have to think in terms of not just the physical problem, but more importantly, I think the socio-cultural foundations of the rice terraces. That is why while we are trying to get funding for the repairs of the irrigation systems, the restoration of the collapsed walls, one of the more important activities also under this program is how to promote the appreciation of culture even among the Ifogaos.
Despite some measure of success, local executives as well as other groups directly involved in maintaining these sites clearly need outside help.
We rely on foreign donors at present, and until 2004, we will have grant money from the UNDP and GF project. But after that, if you don't have the funds to maintain these patrol boats, upgrade your facilities, then that will be a problem.
I was glad to learn that most of our World Heritage sites were already receiving much needed help from various government agencies.
Although the main responsibility for the churches belongs to the NCCA, we actually work in consortium with the National Historical Institute and the National Museum. For World Heritage sites, NCCA, being the representative of the state party, the Republic, will have to subsidize as much as possible the restoration effort within its means, of course.
Presently, we have now a grant from the national government to the NCCA, the purpose of which, among others, is to restore the damaged irrigation systems.
Foreign donors have likewise been supportive. I could see, however, that the challenges remained enormous, especially when you consider the economic and social factors brought about by modernization and globalization. These have clearly affected our World Heritage sites, but none more so than the rice terraces.
Living in the rice terraces is not really economically profitable. And after having considered the economic viability of the rice terraces, as well as the trend of rural communities to gravitate towards urban centers, we now have to address the question is, who is going to remain in the rice terraces, to cultivate the rice terraces? And admittedly, at this point, I don't have the answer to that question. What we are just saying is, we have to stress among the Ifugaos that the rice terraces is important, not just culturally for us, but even economically.
Rebuilding it or preserving it is really problematic because you're dealing with an entire culture that has changed. When Christianity went into the Cordilleras, the religion was hit. Most of the people now are Christianized, including the ritual practitioners, which means the belief systems, the traditions that they practice in relation with the rice terraces has also been affected.
But no matter how difficult the challenges may be, our World Heritage sites must be preserved. For they tell the story of the Filipino, our story. It is a picture book from where the anchors that founded a sense of nationhood can be seen and experienced. Sadly, few Filipinos see the real value of our heritage. It is a concept that they find difficult to appreciate.
So it is so imperative that we educate our students, our people, and excite them again about the wealth of these World Heritage sites.
Our natural and cultural heritage show the wealth of Filipino patrimony. They are irreplaceable. I remain guardedly optimistic that they will not be lost to future generations. In the end, these sites do not only celebrate our identity as a people. Above all, they celebrate our humanity.